Second Chance Backyard Bucks featuring Smoke.
Growing up on the water with fishing in their blood, Matt Arey and Bryan Thrift have spent the last 10 years competing against the biggest names in professional bass fishing. Their success has landed them ranked among the top anglers in the world. If you're looking to become a better angler, then this show has all the answers. Join us and follow along to get actionable tips, tactics, and tried and true techniques directly from the pros. Welcome to Let's Talk Fish.
Live. Oh, now we're live.
Now we're live.
Now we're live?
We're live.
We're live.
Now we're live.
Hey,
So,
we're back.
Brian said we need to open with
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Not Thanksgiving, but we won't see everybody again until after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So,
Are we going to do a show next week? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
can we get that out of the way?
I'll be here
I
next
feel like
week.
Jeff was going to be gone or something.
No, I don't think so.
All right. There we go.
Well,
Are you going to be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
2
All
in a
right.
row.
3 in a row.
Two
No,
in a
you,
row.
you were absent last week.
I was absent
Yeah.
last week.
Where were you
It'd
at?
be 2 in a
I
row
don't
for
remember. You deer.
Last
hunting,
week,
You came back from
my
somewhere
wife and my
then-
mother-in-law went to the Southern Christmas.
Oh,
party.
yeah. He was trapped at home with the babies.
Yes, me.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with the boys. It was a boys' night.
I do remember that. All right, everybody, thanks for joining in. What's up, Ryan? Happy Thanksgiving to you, Mark. Guys, Alan, you are correct. Luke Duncan, we do need to get Luke on the show.
We do need to get Luke.
And that'd be a ball. I don't know who talks more, me or Luke. Luke or I. Shoot, you're
I don't
rubbing
know.
off on me.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. So
Give me a hard time.
if we get Luke on the show, we might have to run Thrift out for the night or something, just so because poor Thrift would never get in a word between. Luke
I would
and
laugh
We
a
have 4
lot.
mics.
I could laugh.
We do have 4 mics. Matter of fact, you are correct.
I have no problem going and doing something else here.
We'll have to
Letting
get
y'all have at it.
We'll have to get Luke to bring his guitar too, because if you've never heard Luke sing, you're missing out.
He is a good singer.
The man
He
he's a multi-talented individual and a great guy on top of that.
We might
But
as well get Casey to come too. They can duet.
there you go. Yeah, there you go. All right, what's up, Shad Bird? What's up, Ryan? Guys, we are excited to be back, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show last week. Thrift was absent; he was at home with the kids while his wife was doing some Christmas
And
shopping.
then I got to go do some red fishing. That's the first time I've ever went and caught redfish.
That is right. You went down there to a Z-Man.
Yeah, we were
event,
down
right?
there with Z-Man, and that was a ball. Like I understand why Jeff likes red fishing so
It's
much.
fun, isn't it?
It is fun. It's like a big pissed off bass.
Big
Kinda
pissed
what it's
off.
like.
It is, and
Something
they're
like that.
they're a lot easier
Yeah.
to trick too.
Yeah, very easy, a lot easier to trick.
But I don't think they've had as many hooks in their mouth as most of the largemouth we probably catch.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
All right. So yeah, we're going to talk a little deer hunting tonight. Whether
Just
few
a
of y'all-
touch.
Just a touch.
It's a pretty good story though. Like very few stories like this exist in the realm of deer hunting.
So
Would y'all agree?
yeah, I 100% agree. And I'll do a quick intro and then I'm gonna let Thrift take it. So if anybody knows Thrift and Thrift's whole idea of deer hunting is a little bit different than the average deer hunter.
No.
It's very different, as a matter of
No.
fact. He doesn't like to go further than 20 feet from his den. He
That's
typically
true.
likes to be in an enclosed stand with a heater if it's cold.
I don't have a heater.
He is a
No heaters.
crossbow hunter, if that tells you anything else. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. He owns a lot of guns, and he likes guns. He loves guns, as a matter of fact. And anyway,
I wouldn't say
you got
I
now
like
you got
shooting my
now you got to back up and start at the beginning. You got to start at the beginning. You got to start this chase for this deer started
3 years ago.
three years. This would be the third season.
This will be the 3rd year.
Yeah.
So there's this big 8-pointer. I've been seeing him for 3 years on camera. What do you call them? Trail cams?
See,
What happened?
I rest my case.
What happened?
Nothing.
Now y'all can't be picking on me. I'm telling you.
I
I didn't say anything.
All I did was look
All
at
right.
you and
So
start
anyway,
laughing.
I seen this deer 3 years ago, and like 4 times. He's a little basket 8, and I let him walk. And didn't shoot at him. Matt, be proud of him.
Y'all write that down.
Yep, he proud of him.
I can vouch for him.
So last year, I never seen him during the day, but I had him on camera a lot. Well, this year, I had him on camera a lot, and one of the cameras, he was coming to about 20 minutes after dark for about 2 nights in a row, and I got thinking, if he's coming in that close to, before
My
it
house.
gets dark, he's going to slip up one night, and he's going to come in there before it gets dark. So sure enough, last Thursday, I'm sitting there during bow season. I've got my crossbow. He comes in about 5:30. Well, I shoot him and hit him very high. Matt comes over, helps me track him. We track him for 300-400 yards.
That's the picture we posted for
What's the
everybody, by the
definition?
way.
What's the definition exactly of very high?
Well, we
Like,
posted
not
the
high,
pictures.
not low enough to kill him.
Explain.
No, he was in thrift defense. Anybody that bows hunting, it was a 40-yard shot. Now, most any deer that's semi-alert, and this deer was
45
obviously
yards,
45 yards. This deer was definitely alert because you said he turned around. And
Yeah.
he was sensing something was up.
Yeah, he knew something.
and he
wasn't
probably
right.
ducked. He probably ducked the arrow a little bit, and you hit him a touch high. But he was literally 2 inches from killing this deer. So,
So
y'all
he-
saw the picture.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thought I messed him up. He's gonna go off and die. So, like 3 days later, he shows back up on camera, and the next night he's back on camera again.
What a dumb deer! In daylight? No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
time he came out in daylight on camera in the morning.
That's right.
So Saturday morning is opening day of gun season here in North Carolina in Cleveland County, and it's going to rain. So I'm like, I'll just sit in the box on top of my shop because it's going to rain. I won't get wet, and if I see one, good. If I don't, be all right. Jeff's smirking over
Box
there.
on top of my
Well, you got to emphasize
Box on top of
now.
my
He
shop.
shot this deer across the road from his house, where most of the deer actually live. There's actually woods there. Thrift's box stand that leans up, his lean-to that leans up against his garage. There are no woods there. It's his yard. He's hunting his yard and a corn pile.
They like to come through my yard.
But that's exactly what they do. They walk by his house.
They do.
And into his backyard to eat corn. So continue.
Yeah, but see, I've got them trained because my house is in the middle of a
I'm not sure if this
15-acre
is
grass
getting better or
field. So when I mow the grass, I mow a path down each side of my shop, and it meets at the back.
So did you put a sign there that says "Walk here, deer"?
No,
So you mow them a path to walk
I
down?
mow them a path. It's just like
Do they
everything.
stay on the path?
They do. So they they come running through the yard until they get to this mowed path, and they walk down the path to the next field behind me. I mean, it's simple. Nothing likes walking in tall grass. Everything takes the path of least resistance. Deer are no different.
Grass is so
Lawnmower
tough
sales
to
just,
walk through.
lawnmower sales just doubled.
So that's what they do. They come running through the front yard to the backyard. They get to my mowed path, and they walk on to wherever they're going. So anyway, it's raining.
What if you cut it like this? Like you did S's and figure eights? You
I
think
could
they get
probably
real
do that.
disoriented?
Make it like a creek channel. See if they'd stage up in the bend or something.
Yeah. I'm just
We might
curious.
try that.
I don't know.
We might try
if I can
that.
redirect one like straight underneath one of my bow stands because I cut the grass a little bit shorter than the rest,
Yes,
I need to try this.
it's
I'm gonna
the
try it.
deal. So anyway, back to the story. So I'm hunting Saturday morning. It's raining. It's like now my stand behind the shop. You're gonna see them 30 minutes after sunrise, and then 30 minutes before dark. After that, you done.
Or an hour or two. Or
But-
3 if thrift's sitting there.
So I'm sitting
Depending on
there,
the technology.
and it's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, I might as well get down. I ain't gonna see nothing. So I put my covers back on my scope and all that, and I'm fixing to open the door to walk
To
out of the
his
stand.
I got up off the couch and walked out the door.
So I'm, already getting ready to leave. Well, here comes that same big 8-pointer that I shot with my crossbow, just trotting down the side of the house here.
Right beside the house, in the yard.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wasn't right, but he's about 130 yards. So he's running through the field, going back behind the house, and I holler at him. He won't stop. So I like, that's my deer. I got to shoot at him, whether he's running or not. Like, I done wounded him. He's mine. So I throw up. I think I led him too far. So I miss him the first shot.
You think?
Yeah. So I missed him the first shot, and he gets close to the tree line to where the fence is to go behind the.
What are you hunting
my
with at
field.
this point? You 6.5?
Yeah, 6.5 Creedmoor.
Gotcha.
So he slows down to a trot when he gets close to the fence line, and I got to shoot at him again now. I ain't gonna get another chance. So all I can see is his butt. So I'm shooting him in the butt. So I get down on him, bam! I shoot him in the butt, and I see him drop down as soon as I shoot. So I knew I hit him good. He ain't gonna be far.
I knew I hit him good.
I knew
love
he wasn't going far. So I get down out of my stand. I go put my Storm R rain suit on because it's raining. Got my orange toboggan on.
This is all true, by the way.
I swear it's true.
He's not sponsor plugging. This is 100% accurate.
So I put my rain suit on and get my orange toboggan. put me 3 double-aught buckshots in my 12 gauge because I know he's on the ground. I don't need to be shooting a high-powered rifle across flat
That's
ground.
a good move. That's like picking up a chatterbait instead of a swim jig when you just feel like it's right.
Right. It's the same thing. So instead of
Put the
having
rifle down,
10 rods on the
pick
deck,
up
I
the
got
scatter
10
gun.
guns.
There you go.
So I get my shot. Well, the thing I was thinking was safety. I was like, you don't want to shoot at a deer running across flat ground.
I am too, John Long.
That's illegal, by the way. I think you have to be 8 foot above the ground.
Okay.
I think.
Well, anyways, I grabbed the shotgun. I
Good
threw
move on your part.
3 double-aught buckshots in there. And I walked back there to where he crossed the fence. And he's standing there about 30 yards on the other side of the fence. And he sees me, and he kind of takes off running. So I shoot him in the butt with a buckshot.
Just once that time, right?
Just once that time.
Yeah.
So now we have.
And I kept asking Thrift, I said, why are you keep shooting this deer in the butt? He said, because it's all I can see.
That's all he'll show me.
So we have 2 butt shots so far.
We got 2 butt shots.
Wait a minute. We got a crossbow bolt that's been through his back strap. We got a rifle bullet that's been in his rear end, and then we got buckshot that's in his rear end.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So I shoot him with the buckshot, and he runs about 40 yards to another fence road to go into the woods. And he gets out. He kind of gets out of my sight because he gets right in the edge of the woods. So I walk up that way, and there he is trying to get over the fence. Well, he can't get over the fence. Now, mind you,
Hard with 2 legs.
Yeah, at this point, I'm only about 20 yards from him. So he sees me again, and he knows he can't get over the fence, so he turns to go back out in the field, and I shoot him in the butt twice more with the buckshot.
And you're out of shells at this point.
And I'm out of shells at this point, but thankfully he falls on the second shot, and he's dead. So we got him. It took 1 crossbow, 2 6.5 Creedmoor rounds, and 3 double-aught buckshots, but we got him.
And the back third of that deer looked like he already had his sausage processed by the time he got him over to Deer Dynasty.
He's cutting down his processing fees.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we're chewing on some nice jerky. Compliments. I saw him log on earlier. My neighbor, Kyle Bell, KB, makes some of the best deer jerky in town.
It is good.
100%.
It wasn't one of my proudest moments hunting, but it worked.
I like the fact that you're honest. You know how many guys would have said, yeah, he stepped out there in the sunset and he's following this little old doe and he gave me a 287-yard shot. And
running.
I'd run in Mach 10 and I led him a foot and dropped him in his tracks, hit him right in the neck, right where I was aiming. So I like the fact that Thrift doesn't cover it. He doesn't sugarcoat
I marked him with my crossbows. At that point, he became mine, so I feel like I had to get him.
You marked him, yeah. He's definitely full of lead, Gordon. Yep. So, but no, everything Thrift did was perfectly legal, and
it was.
Look, he was doing what he had to do because. My first question, like anybody probably, was like, "Why you keep shooting him in the butt?" Because that's all he had, and he knew the deer was hurt, so he wanted to put him down, and he did. He's got the deer. Deer Dynasty's processing it.
Yeah,
we're gonna eat the deer. Hopefully, I get to partake in that,
course.
Gonna make some jerky out of it and have all kinds of good meats. But all right, so that's the one and only.
That's my deer story for the year.
Yeah, and. Thrift did kill a doe with his crossbow earlier this year at a 65 yards.
65
matter
yards,
of fact. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. 65 yard long way. I couldn't shoot it one with my bow that far. He probably ducked my arrow 3 times before it got there.
There's my buddy Joe Russell. I called him. So Joe hunts behind me, and I called him because the deer had run over there where he hunts to see if he was hunting. And him and his son Lucas actually came and helped me get it out. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Thanks to Joe and his son. And there's been some really nice deer killed around here this year.
There has been a lot of good deer killed. Just all of North Carolina. I think there was a new bow record killed, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was. It's still pending, I think, but there was a new non-typical bow record come. I think it came out. I'm not sure what county it came out. It might have been Guilford or something, but it was a giant. But around here, just locally, man, there's been a lot of really nice deer shot this year, and it seems like all over the country. I don't know if the people are just letting them, make it a few more years and they're letting them mature,
so.
But And there's nothing wrong with shooting a little buck. If that's your thing, and you need to meet.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot whatever you want.
That's
shoot
one
whatever
thing.
makes you
Like,
happy.
I will never apologize for a deer I shoot. Like, I'll never try to say, "Oh, I thought he was bigger." or
Yeah,
something.
no.
Like, if I shoot one, it's gonna be because I wanted to shoot it.
Yeah, I can't take that. When somebody posts a picture of a deer online,
I think we've established that.
Yeah, I mean,
be
I may have
proud
to
of
shoot him with 3 different weapons, but
If I have to shoot one 6 times just because I wanted to shoot him.
That's right. That's right. 100%. Yeah, I don't like that. Like if somebody posts a picture of a deer and they shot it and they say, "Well, I thought he was this deer. I thought he was bigger." And I mean, why are you posting a picture of it if you ain't proud of it in the first place? But yeah, that's a pretty. And Brian told me the story. The funny part was he sent me a picture of him right after he killed him, and he was laying in the woods, and I could see like from the midpoint. From his midsection, almost his midsection, not quite his midsection, but almost to the back of his lungs, for all the way to his head and his rack, and I could not see a drop of blood anywhere on that deer's body. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, where did he shoot that deer? I couldn't see a hole, couldn't see any blood, couldn't see nothing. And then he called me, and I got the story. And I said, you got to tell that on the show. So I appreciate you telling the show.
all right, now we can talk about fishing.
We can talk about fishing. By the way, I got another reminder. I told everybody about this tournament last week. I know you weren't here, but I'm going to remind everybody again. It's an awesome tournament. Nikki Hames and her dad, George, put this tournament on down at Lake Wiley. I do believe you can register at the tournament also. It's at Buster Boy Bridge, November 30th. That's this Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Christmas for Kids tournament. Guys, if you're not going to do anything Saturday, go over there and fish this tournament. Every $100 raised provides Christmas for one child. I had got a text from Nikki last week or two ago, and she had already raised about $1,300. That's 13 kids that get a Christmas that otherwise wouldn't have got one. So every $100 they raise for that tournament, they are they're able to provide Christmas for one child that otherwise wouldn't get it. So November 30th, that's this Saturday at Buster Boy Bridge, Christmas for Kids tournament down at Lake Wiley.
And even if you don't want to fish, you're welcome to come by and donate or anything like that.
They've got a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I can't remember if they do an auction for that tournament, but I gave them some stuff to I don't know if they use it for prizes or if they use it to auction or what they do with it, but I always give them some stuff every year to use for that tournament. And like Brian said, go by. It's a good cause. All right, let's see. We had some fishing questions earlier, guys. Resubmit your questions so we don't have to go all the way back through the feed. I know the deer story took a little bit, but
what is a funny story?
It was a funny story. No. Hey, look, I wanted you to tell it. I mean, I think it was awesome. We don't hide anything here.
No,
everything's
no reason to hide.
Yeah, that's right. We keep it all out there. All right, so let's get back to some fishing. What do we got coming up? We got well, this fall you're not fishing anything November, December. Are you fishing any?
Yeah, I'll fish something probably almost every weekend.
Some
Norman.
of the winter trail stuff?
Some of the Norman's got a lot of winter trail tournaments. I love fishing in the winter. That's some of my favorite fishing, especially when fish get out on bait and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
So guys, if you submitted some fishing questions earlier in the feed, go ahead and resubmit those. I'm watching the feed now, and we'll address those as they come in. I think I'm gonna slide down. My season since we can't shoot a doe after December 6th in Cleveland and Rutherford County. Where
you gonna go fishing?
I'm actually gonna go fishing.
Hey, I'm taking Matt. We got to go to Moss some this winter.
We can do that. We can do that. Actually, my new boat's up at Angler's Choice being rigged as we speak.
Ah, perfect.
And I'm gonna need to take it and run it and make sure everything's ready to roll. I'll tell you where I'm gonna go this winter. A buddy of mine, and he called me, and I wanted to get down there last winter, and he was smashing them and winning a bunch of local tournaments down there, and I never got down there. And
Where
they were
at?
Murray.
Ah,
And they were biting last winter at Murray.
I
Y'all
remember
need
that.
catching
to
them.
team up since you're a redfish professional.
I am a redfish expert now.
Y'all need to come down and make a guest appearance
When's
at
this?
the Southern Redfish Cup tournament,
When it-
December 7th or whatever that Saturday is.
Man, that's the last
I
legal.
think
That's
that's
the December 6th. That's the last legal day I can shoot a doe, man. I said after.
Sorry, Jeff.
I'm not fishing until
Sorry.
after December 6th.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I just can't do it. I can't do
That's
it.
ridiculous.
Let's see. William Jackson asks when the new Demiki Square Bill crankbait's coming out. I think it's going to be available January 1st. I know for sure it's going to be available.
Don't you have some
1st of
special
January.
colors too?
Oh yeah, it's a signature series bait I helped design for them. It's just a great, it's a plastic square bill, like hard plastic but it acts more like a balsa bait. Floats really high. It's great coming through wood, grass. Anytime you're going to be cranking shallow, it's going to be a good bait that's going to float up out of cover. You're going to be able to work it through stuff and things like that. And it thumps really hard too, that's the two main things I wanted to do with that bait was make it where it would have a nice hard thump, and you could cast it great, be able to roll it under docks and stuff like that. But also you could work it through grass, let it float up over it and rip it back down in it, crank it through laydowns and not get hung as bad. And I feel like we accomplished all that with the prototypes I've had for the last couple months. So it's going to be a good crankbait. But you can look for those January 1st, I believe.
And we addressed that earlier this year. Mike Harris asked, I know Mike's always watching the show, he said, are you sticking with FLW, but your plan is to fish FLW in 2020, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and we mentioned that a couple shows back, but just to verify that. All right. Let's see. Here's a good question from Alan Pruitt, because this definitely applies to this time of year, and especially Clarks Hill, Hartwell, lakes like that. What do you guys use when the fish are in the ditches? A lot of different options there. I'll just say one.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna say one that's not as common as what people think, and a shaky head.
Yeah.
I mean, I catch fire out of them on a shaky head when they're in those ditches.
Yeah, and I do as well. And I kind of approach the ditches with a two-prong attack. I want a moving bait, this shad-type body like the new Demiki underspin. I've been throwing it a lot the last year, and it's done great for me.
You know why I said a shaky head, right?
Yes.
Because I knew you were going to say underspin.
Yes. But that's my next go-to is dragging a small finesse jig or a shaky head down the middle of them also. And
I'll give y'all guys a tip about this deal, too. That fishing those ditches down there, a lot of us, and probably any of you boys that fish ditches a lot, especially at Hartwell, Clarks Hill, places like that have those real tight edge ditches, is what I call them, that just real defined. Don't feel like you can idle those ditches and see all those fish sitting down there. I have caught those fish. I have dropped a worm down there right under the boat on my 2D sonar, not seen a fish, and all of a sudden hook one, and then your whole graph lights up because them suckers get in there tight to the sides of those ditches, and you literally cannot see them. I mean, they're all but invisible. As good as our sonar is now.
Yeah, when they sit straight on the bottom, you can't see them.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of them do is not necessarily on the bottom of the ditch, but up against the sides.
The side wall.
It's almost like they're sitting on the wall like that.
Yep.
And you just can't see them until they move, until they start streaking or you hook one. But I fished a ditch, and I used to think, I ain't seeing nothing in these ditches. And if I would see bait in the ditch, I'd fish it anyway.
Yeah.
But several times, on Hartwell especially, I've gotten over those ditches and I've dropped that worm down there, and I'll use my trolling motor and I'll bump it around and I'll almost vertically just shake that shaky head on the bottom.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you'll feel thump, and you'll see on your 2D, you don't see a fish, and you'll hook it and you'll see them start coming up on your 2D sonar.
There'll be 4 or 5 falling.
I mean, dude, it'll light up and it'll blow your mind. But anyway, that's if you see them down there streaking and a bunch of bait suspended in them, that's when I like to throw an underspin or something like that, or even a little single Kitech will catch them sometimes.
I tell you, I've even caught them on an A-rig good in the ditches.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
I have not thrown an A-rig. Of course, I quit throwing an A-rig when it was illegal for us to throw an A-rig. I know.
I still like to throw it. It's fun.
Still like to throw it.
It's fun.
It's a lot of work.
It's not a lot of work. You got to have the right rod and reel.
I agree.
Right line, right A-rig.
It's almost Demiki time in East Tennessee. Huh. Yeah,
I guess. Getting close. What's the water temp got to be for that? Like, I've never went to East Tennessee and thrown the Demiki rig. I've done it some around here at Moss and Norman, and you can pretty much catch them year-round on it here. But what's the optimum water temp? When does it start getting good?
For it really to pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so John Stray Dog said that shaky head works really good in the ditches, even at Rayburn.
Shaky head works everywhere.
Yeah, and that's true. And I think that's a deal that does go overlooked, because ditch fishermen, guys that like to fish those ditches in the wintertime, there's not a lot of guys that throw a shaky head in them.
That is true.
And it will absolutely catch them. Underspans are a big go-to in ditches. Drop shots are a big go-to in ditches. But a shaky head just flat catches them. Let's see. All right, so the silver buddies. Do you throw any silver buddies anymore?
I don't throw a silver buddy, but
that's
a blade bait.
It's a blade bait.
Yeah. I threw the Demiki Vault. It's really good.
Yeah, I've thrown that Vault.
Yeah.
I got a question about that Vault. So it comes with really, really tiny hooks on it.
Yeah, I change them out.
Okay. All right. What are your ideal size hooks for that?
I put number 6 Berkeley Fusion 19s.
Okay.
That's what I'd do.
So if I'm a gammy guy, the little 6 round.
yeah, a
ends
little
would
number
be good.
6.
Got
yeah,
you.
be good.
And that Berkeley Fusion's a good treble too. All right.
Yeah, I think the sizes are about the same universal throughout all the hooks made. So something in a size 6 hook.
Let's see. William Jackson, I've seen several questions in here about which pros are leaving MLF BPT. We don't know the answer to that, and that's the honest truth. We don't
we
hear
either.
the same rumors y'all hear.
Yeah.
And it's through social media for the most part. I don't have any facts to back anything up, so I'm not going to say. I just don't know.
Scott
Brian's
Fels-
over here dying laughing. So
well,
we gotta address
Scott Fell said the A-rig's the buckshot for bass fishing.
It's a dang good comparison, Scott. Yeah, the buckshot
awesome.
for bass fishing. Did you get that, Jeff?
Yes. I'm putting it up on my new feature up on the screen.
Are you? A-rig is the buckshot of bass fishing.
It's effective.
Don't forget, we do have a trivia question at the end of the show tonight, guys, like we always do. We'll be giving away.
That's enough talking about it.
I'm not giving away the answer. I can guarantee you this. The answer to the trivia question tonight is 100% correct.
And you can't Google it.
And you can't Google it. Yeah, so guys, don't think you
So
can Google it.
Tony Lawson said 40s are the best. I guess that's talking about the Demiki rig bite. So once that water gets down in
I
the
thought you were
40s.
talking about like a tall boy or something. Big beer or something.
Like
40s are the best.
St. Ides 40.
Like a OE, like an Old English or something.
Oh my goodness gracious!
All right. Do either of us still have a John boat? Believe it or not, Brett, I don't have a John boat that you would be thinking about, but I have a 10-foot, what I call, it's a John boat, but it's a little Sea Arc that it's camouflaged. I painted it myself. It looks horrible. I painted it when I was like 17.
To duck hunt out.
To duck hunt out of.
There
I
you
used to
go.
use this little pump boat to float down like the first and the second Broad River and jump shoot wood ducks. And that was a lot of fun back in the day.
That
but
is a lot of fun.
it is a lot of fun. Get you a couple buddies. Just make sure they're safe behind the trigger because one of you's paddling and one of you's shooting. And if you get one of your crazier buddies, you're in the front shooting and he's standing up behind
Well,
you.
y'all at
shooting.
least smart enough to have the guy in the back paddling, not shooting.
No, we both shot.
Oh God!
Yeah, we both shot most. I mean, I'm lucky I'm here, to be honest with you.
I'm-
Some of the
yeah,
guys that I
yeah.
floated those rivers with and shot 12 gauges, I mean, and that's probably why I don't hear good because I've had a lot of
12 gauge flies over the head.
Yeah, I about said lead shot, but it was still shot. I think. I mean, that's what the law says anyway.
I've seen this question by Joe Johnson twice. Jerkbait feather hook. You ever throw a feather hook on your jerkbait?
I have never thrown. When they marketed that Husky jerk? Do you remember that Husky jerk
Oh, yeah,
by
had the
Rapplin?
feather
Didn't
on-
it have a feather on the
It
back
did.
of it when they
Some
sent it
of
to
them
market?
did, yeah.
I don't think that I have ever thrown a feather hook on a jerkbait.
I have, but not a traditional feather hook like a topwater feather.
Okay,
There's tricks.
save that.
Tricks. Save it,
Always leave them wanting more.
but they want to know. This
Well,
is what's
always
called
leave them
fish.
wanting more.
If y'all want to know what kind of feather to use on a jerkbait, I'll be glad to tell you, but Matt won't allow it. So,
I didn't say I wouldn't allow it. We'll offer that up, jerkbait feathered hook or not. Oh, I see Joe Johnson answered that. The answer is not C, Billy, but good try. Let's see. Between Matt and Brian, who has the biggest personal best and what's the weight? We talking deer or bass? We're talking
bass.
10.2 is actually my personal best.
See, I've got
That was at Okeechobee.
conflicting personal bests.
Well, that's not possible
Yes,
unless
it
you
is
actually
possible.
weighed them.
I did actually weigh both of them.
Were they both weigh the same?
No.
Well, then they're not conflicting.
Which one was?
Yes, they are conflicting. I'm gonna tell the story. All right. So I caught a 9.6
Not big enough.
at at Kissimmee a couple years ago. Weighed it on scales, certified. I know what it weighed. But
Your scales in your boat?
Yeah, I have a witness, Trevor.
Well, they're
Fish,
obviously
with me.
always 3 pounds light.
Yeah, so it's probably like a 12.6 or something. But anyway, so when I was 16, I caught a bass out of a pond. Back when I lived with Mom and Dad, a pond in just a local little farm pond. And it was big. Like, it was huge. Biggest bass I'd ever caught. And I don't know how big it actually was, but my pawpaw had these old vegetable scales, like 1950 models, like rusted up spring. So that's the only scale we had. So we laid it on the vegetable scales, and it said it weighed 10.6. So that's what I went
They're
with.
probably accurate.
So, but I don't know for sure because I don't know if the scale was.
They don't make things like they used to. I guarantee it was accurate.
All right. Well, 10-6 then. Got you beat before.
You got me beat.
Jeff declared it.
All right. So 10-6 for Smoke, 10-2 for me. Billy, I'm not understanding that. Do y'all understand Billy's question? Billy Schultz said, do y'all separate a pond best from a lake best?
No, it's a bass.
Bass is a bass.
Bass is a bass.
Oh, I guess he meant bass.
Yeah.
It said best. Okay, sorry. I couldn't. All
Oh,
right.
no, pond
No, a
pond best
fish from a lake best fish.
Oh, okay.
It takes him a minute. We're sorry.
I'm sorry. Apologies.
He's still got deer on his mind.
Sorry, Billy.
No, it's a bass is a bass. If I catch a 10-pounder out of a mud hole on the side of 85, I'm counting.
Yeah, if we're talking about just our personal best, then yeah. Now, if you told me that, I don't know. So my argument here, I have to elaborate on that a little bit. When somebody asks us that question,
Yeah.
then yeah, if you caught a 10-12 out of a pond and my biggest is a 10-1 out of a lake, then I'm not going to necessarily say, well, whatever. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
But if you go kill a 250-inch whitetail deer in a high-fence ranch, and then I go kill a 250-inch deer that's fair chase, then I got a problem if you're saying yours is bigger, or 249 inches.
I'm pretty sure we're talking about fish, right?
Yeah, we're talking about fish.
But that goes back to what I'm saying. The reason I feel like that's a little unfair is because you control. It's just like a pond. You can control the variable. This goes back to what. This is my argument.
Right.
I don't feel like a state record bass that's recognized by the state can come out of a privately managed pond.
Why
A
not?
certain size pond or a pond? at
Well,
all?
you have to put some kind of restriction there. And my
So
argument,
you're saying
my argument is
so
this.
you're saying if we fed Mr. Wilson and he got up to 12 pounds and I caught him out of that aquarium, it wouldn't count.
That's basically what I'm
All
saying.
right, I agree with that.
Okay, but there again, that goes back to size restrictions. You have to decide where it
what
stops.
would be your size?
Well, I'm thinking
how
of,
big do you
I'm
have to
thinking a
get?
couple acres. I'm
Like
thinking
2 acres.
I'm thinking
All
a
right,
couple
well, we're
acres.
good then. I was
Yeah.
fishing like 5 acres. So we're good. We're good.
This is not going back to your bass. This is just going back to the fact that we definitely need to do a wives show. By the way, I just saw that in our feed.
A what?
A fisherman wives.
Yes,
show.
we've gotta do that.
We have to feature our wives on the show.
We
one
need to
night.
do that over the winter sometime.
What was it called? Just Talk Wine? What'd they come up with?
Just
that?
talk wine.
They'll have something.
Just talk shopping, just talk
Yeah.
groceries, something like that. And the only reason I say that goes back to being able to control
Just talk
those uncontrollable variables.
All right, I got you.
Meaning that if I had a private 3-acre pond in my backyard
And you were trying to.
and I was trying to
Grow
grow
trophy
trophy bass,
All
I
right.
could grow a lot bigger bass in that little pond than you could in Moss Lake. That's what I'm getting at.
All right, I
You know
agree
what
with
I'm
that.
saying?
I agree.
So
with
it's kind of like deer.
Yeah.
Managing a high fence ranch is not the same as chasing one in the wild. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that too heavy because somebody
what
might
you're
get a
saying.
little.
I get it.
Somebody might. Well, it wasn't really directed towards you, Jeff.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
I'm confused.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
confused.
Has to be public water. So that's a good way to put
Well,
it, Jeff. Has to
if
be
I
public
catch it out
waters.
of a pond, I'm gonna count it.
Well, never count a tournament or.
I don't care. It count to me. It count to Brian. That's all.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
matters.
if I caught a 10-pounder
Emily
anywhere, I
said,
mean,
really?
that's
Groceries? Just talk groceries?
Who said groceries?
I didn't know it was my.
I thought
my
the
wife was
same
watching
thing,
that.
Emily, just so you know.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
wouldn't allow
I can't
that.
believe you said that.
Well, they
We
know
wouldn't allow that.
Obviously not.
Mark wanted to know what's on. She's getting all kinds of likes on her comment. Too. What's up with that? Mark
Not
Carlson.
Good. It's not good for you. I'm going to like it too.
He said, "What's on my Black Friday list?" Well, I know Titan's going to be slinging out some Black Friday deals.
There will be
Some really killer
a
Titan.
very,
Titan
very,
Tungsten's going to have some
very,
killer deals.
very good.
TH
Friday.
Marine.
Yeah, TH Brand's got some cool deals.
TH Marine's got some grab bag stuff, guys. They got some grab bag deals going on, some holiday specials. Go to thmarine.com and check out some of the specials they're gonna have running because they got a lot of really cool items. And what's some of your favorite? Like a couple of the a couple of your favorite TH Marine items that you use on your boat. I mean, we both use a lot of different stuff: the Hydra Wave, the Troll Jacket, the Troll Tamers, all kinds of cool. The cool. I tell you one thing I use this year.
I like the troll jacket, the thing that goes over the
cables.
The cables for your troll motor. That thing I like.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
That's cool. So one of my favorites, and I never used one until this year, was the Chill Trax foot pad for your trolling motor pedal.
I had never used one of
And-
those either. I might have to get one.
I really, and not only does it keep it cool, like if you fish barefooted, like Ott and some of those guys do all the time. I can't do that either.
If I fish barefooted, there's no way I'm making it throughout the day without getting a hook in my foot.
Yeah, well, I know
That's happening.
A lot of guys out there and gals that fish barefooted, and that's my wife just set my suppers on the front porch. She's rolling tonight. She's doing pretty good.
You brought it on yourself. Brought it totally on yourself.
Let's talk groceries.
You brought that totally on yourself.
That's wine. You went straight to groceries.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kyle, I'm coming over to your house tonight. Be there in a little while. Might need to sleep on the couch. So,
Hey, you can put a bed in your shop. You can always sleep there.
there's already a bed in my shop.
That's what I'm saying. You got a place. You're
Yeah,
good.
but she can get to me there.
Yeah. I got plenty of double aught buckshot left. I'm just saying.
For me or her?
For you,
Oh,
if she needs to borrow it.
might need to protect myself. Bruce is watching. Fat Baby's watching. Mullet Baby, a.k.a. Thunderfoot. He's talking about the other night coming over here and cooking some wings, Jeff.
We need to do that.
We do
Weather's
need to
getting
do that.
nice.
It
Yeah.
is. It is getting nice.
Joe said the troll tamer. He likes a troll tamer. In all honesty, guys, if y'all hadn't checked out that Chiltrax foot pedal pad, it's for your foot pedal for your trolling motors. It keeps it cool. It's cool looking. It gives it a little cushion. It is a really nice addition, and it is very reasonably priced. So it's not going to break the bank, and it's a cool little deal. All right. Nathan said no to fishing barefooted. By the way, I don't fish barefooted, but there are a lot of people out there that fish barefooted. See.
Yeah,
Anthony Randall
sunburnt
said I
feet.
never put shoes on in the boat. So
Yeah, but Andy Baker says there's nothing worse than sunburnt feet, and I gotta agree with that.
well, that's true. That's true. Michael said, "Don't get scared now, Matt." No, I'm good. Gripping socks. What is that? Oh, he's talking about like the Aaron Martin things that he wears or something. You know, Aaron wears them little. I don't know if they're actually
Gripping
shoes
sock.
or what they are. They look
got
like
the-
socks, but they got
The rubber on the bottom of them.
individual.
Oh, your toe goes in a little.
Yeah,
Dude, that would feel
Those are like
weird
shoes.
having.
They
something
look like
between-
feet.
They're not socks. They're shoes.
they're like neoprene, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What? There's
Yeah.
a name for them. I don't know what you're
I don't know
called.
what they're called either.
I mean, I don't think I could stand something being between all my toes like that. That'd feel weird.
Yeah,
I mean, that just
yeah.
it ain't
That'd
right.
take some getting used to. You're right, Scott. They do have one of the Chiltrax pads for the hot foots also. Quick safe system to secure your transducer cables on the shaft of the trolling motor. Yeah, that might be. Hey, that could be in the works, Mike. You never know, but that's a pretty good suggestion because we're all guilty of wires running up and down our trolling motor shaft.
Yeah.
And he's talking about a way to secure them other than just the standard old zip ties. But yeah, that would be that's a good idea. You might be onto something there.
There you go.
Let's see. Jordan Lake, a good fishery. Robert Clark was asking if Jordan Lake's a good fishery. It is absolutely a great fishery. It's got a lot of it's one of the few places in the state, honestly, that every year produces a good number of double-digit fish. Falls, Jordan, and Shear and Harris. All three of those lakes are capable of producing 10 to 12 pound class fish. They're managed very well. They're all right there around Raleigh, around the central part of the state, and they are all phenomenal lakes. I actually spent quite a bit of time on Falls when I was a student at NC State back in 2000, between 2000 and 2003. Phenomenal lakes, have a lot of really big fish in them.
All right. What's your favorite fall winter technique, Matt?
My favorite fall winter technique.
This comes from Kyle Ash.
Probably my Hoyt carbon spotter with a Carbon Express era tip with a 125 grain ram cat. No, I'm just kidding. I like early fall. I like the topwater bite when it really starts to kick in.
Yeah, I agree.
Winter fishing, I don't really have a favorite winter technique. I do like to get on a good jerkbait bite in the winter, especially just a slow twitch pause deal where you can just watch that line go. Shoo!
Yeah.
When that line pings and
That is a fun bite.
that's a fun bite. And you catch a lot of really big fish doing that too.
You do.
What about
A
yours?
lot of times that's the biggest fish of the year. Wintertime fish are usually your heaviest. They're feeding up, easiest to catch. So get out there and go fishing this winter. Don't wait till April when the fish are spawning or staging to spawn.
Yeah, January, February.
Yeah, that's
produces
the
some
best
giants.
time to catch a big fish. My favorite winter technique is And I love to crank in the winter.
Yeah.
Like January, February, March. I want to be cranking, shallow cranking.
Shallow cranking probably produces more big bags of fish consistently in our area than any other way in the wintertime. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
There are a lot of jerkbait fish caught, but there's probably more tournaments won cranking than there are other ways this time of year.
Yeah,
Around
I would
area.
say so.
There's some big jig fish caught, and there's some jerkbait fish caught, and things like
Yeah.
that, but it seems like the crankbait's a little more consistent. Hey, I like that. Josh said the Bandit 200 in Mistake.
I
It's
remember
funny.
that color.
You know, we were at the Rock Outdoors the other weekend together doing working a promotion, an open house they had, and I gave a seminar, and I was talking about that color in my seminar. We were talking about colors of jerk. I was doing a jerkbait seminar and was talking about different colors of jerkbaits and when I use this over this and reasons why. And I said sometimes the exact opposite of what we think.
Yes.
The fish won't. That Bandit 200 Mistake is a color that I used to throw at Norman back in the day.
Isn't it
And
like red on one side?
dude,
and chartreuse?
it's a mistake. It was
Yeah.
a mistake. It's got orange, pink, black stripes, and chartreuse all in one crankbait. And it's the ugliest looking bait you've ever seen in
I
your life.
remember. I know what you're talking
And
about.
when the wind would blow on the lower end of that lake and in that crystal clear water, dude, I'd catch them on that bright, ugly thing like it was going out of style. And for some reason, I just quit. I think that my problem is I get caught up in all the new stuff, and sometimes that old school stuff is where we need to
Oh,
stay.
yeah.
You know, it's like the Carolina rig. I hadn't thrown a Carolina rig in years, but I have had my butt kicked
I have as well.
on that Carolina rig, and it still catches them. Probably as good, if not better than it used to, because everybody quit throwing it. So how deep is shallow fishing in the winter? That's a good question, Ronnie, and that's kind of relative to where you
Yeah.
are. But around here,
It's
you want to elaborate?
10 feet or less. Like it's all bank related,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. Like either a
Channel
rip
swing
wrap,
backs.
channel swing, something with some hard cover like rock or concrete. Something like that's the whole key is you want some kind of hard cover. Seems to be the best as far as catching a big one. And wind always helps in the winter too.
Yeah, Tony, that's right. The flat side orange, anything orange or red, I like those colors a lot all the way through the winter. This time of year, late fall, especially early fall, mid fall, I kind of like shad patterns a little bit more. But going into January, February, March, I like those oranges and reds, and I like bright baits.
Yeah,
that's
some
right.
crawfish.
You crushed them on a Carolina rig this year.
I did.
Rayburn.
I did.
Matter of fact.
Big ones too.
Jigs McThump asked if lakes ever freeze over in the Carolinas. I don't remember. We've had ice around the edges. but-
Yeah, I've never. No, they're like small ponds will freeze over, but I've never seen a lake freeze over. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of our lakes have a hot hole from a power plant, be it a steam plant or a nuclear plant or something like that. So usually our water runs a little bit warmer than most places.
I mean, Norman in areas will sustain 50-plus degree water.
Oh, yeah.
12
Like
months out of the year.
I actually went to Norman today, and it was 64, 65 degrees in a lot of places I was fishing.
Yeah, that's warm. That's really warm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, James, that's a pretty,
Come
pretty
on,
rough
James.
visual
Don't
there.
do
He
me
said,
like
can y'all
that."
imagine Thrift running out of his heated stand chasing that buck in his
I don't
boxers
have
saying,
heat in
come
my
here,
stand.
boy.
That's a lie. Matt made that up.
No, you sent me a picture the day of a stand you were hunting in.
That was my buddy's stand. That wasn't my stand.
And it was like 40 degrees. The heater wasn't on, though. So
No.
I'd have been a little worried if it was 45 degrees. All these guys from up north that watch the show are going to be worrying about
Yeah,
you
that's true.
and making fun of you. Somebody asked earlier, how would you catch a bass in Wisconsin in January? And
It's got to freeze up there, doesn't it?
yeah,
Wisconsin's got to be frozen.
it would require. Somebody already said it would require a heck of a drill in order
Yeah.
just to catch a bass in Wisconsin in January. That being said, how would you catch one? We've never talked about that, and you and I have zero experience catching bass.
I've
through
never
the ice.
been ice fishing.
But well, I mean, okay. Well, you're vertical fishing. Obviously, you're restricted not
Yep.
casting.
Yep.
So how would you catch one through the ice, Brian, in January or February? A bass. Now you're targeting bass.
I got to go Demiki rig.
A Demiki rig. Okay.
I mean, Tony said water gets in the 40s, Demiki rig's the deal. So If it's frozen, it's got to be below 40. So Demiki rigs got to be the deal.
I agree. I would assume, and I bet that's been pretty popular among ice fishermen for years and years and years. But where are we at? What time is it, Jeff? I'm losing track of time.
7:45.
Okay, we still got about 10 or 15 minutes, so we're good. Andy Baker said, look, he said dumb question, but there's no such thing as a dumb question on Let's
we'll
Talk
answer
Fish.
any question. There may be some dumb answers on this show, but there's no dumb question.
He said, on the power plant lakes, he said, can you still bet with the top water if you fish that warm water? Oh, still get bit. I'm assuming he meant still get bit. Yeah, man, I've seen top water bites go all the way through the winter.
It's not something you can bank on doing, but if you did it enough, you could probably catch a couple. But I don't think you can depend on it.
Let's see. I'm fishing the TBF National Championship on Grand Lake, Oklahoma in early March. Never been there. Any tips? Whew, that could be, man. I'd go back and Brian, a great tool just to get a little history, get a little knowledge of how that lake fishes in March is they've had 2 or 3 classics there that time of year.
Yeah.
And because they've had 2 or 3, you got to see changing conditions throughout each one. Each one was a little bit different.
I think watercolor is going to determine how you approach it also.
Water level, watercolor.
Yeah.
And, man, it could be 15 degrees or it could be 55, 60 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the water. I'm talking about the air temperature. But, I remember those boys when it got really cold and really muddy on them, and it was really hard for them to catch them. I mean, most of the fish were caught cranking in that one. And then there was another one, I think the first one, where Hank had a really good run at the
Hank
title,
on a jerkbait.
Him and KVD were sharing some water there around Honey Creek. They were catching them jerking. But, that being said, I'd go back and watch several of those classics, and there was a lot of different techniques used throughout all those different classics. And there were fish caught from one end of that lake all the way to the other. So it's going to really depend on your conditions, your weather, your water clarity, like Thrift said.
Yeah. The biggest thing you got to remember is if you've got decent visibility, say 3.5 feet or more, I'm going to be fishing for suspended fish, throwing either a jerkbait or a rig, something like that, because I feel like that's where your bigger fish are. But if you've got less visibility than that, those fish are more prone to being up on the bank, being on hard cover like rock, where you're going to catch them on a crankbait, a jig, a chatterbait, or spinnerbait, or something like that. So that's the fun thing about wintertime fishing is there's not a lot of options. Like you can pretty much have 6 or 7 rods on the deck and cover everything you need to do in the winter.
You telling me you would have 6 or 7 rods on the deck?
Yeah, in the winter I would.
I had to see that to believe it.
That's true. Well, I mean, the rest of the year when they're biting topwater, I've got like 10 topwaters on the deck, so I won't have any topwaters.
Okay. Jigs McThump said bass bite early ice and late on ice. Then they go dormant pretty much December, February here in Minnesota. Interesting. So I guess when they get their first ice, that's when they go crazy, and then they kind of go dormant, and it's hard to catch one later. Your A-rig setup, Anthony Brooks. What's up, Anthony? He wants to know what your A-rig setup is. I'm gonna let Thrift answer that because I haven't thrown one. I really haven't thrown one in like 2.5 years.
Yeah, I still throw it a lot when I can. I mean, anytime I go fun fishing in the winter, I throw it. So my setup is I use a 7.3 heavy action Fitzgerald Stunner rod. I've got it on a 7.3 gear ratio Revo STX, 20-pound P-line tactical fluorocarbon. But I throw a smaller A-rig than most people. This is ER Lures makes the one I throw. It's a little small, compact, light wire A-rig. So, I mean, I can pitch it around docks like you can a spinnerbait or a chatterbait. And I catch a lot of fish on this A-rig just because of the places I can put it versus throwing those big, huge A-rigs. So, and you'd be surprised. Like, I'm throwing the 4-inch Demiki Armor Shad on there. And, I mean, you catch a lot of big fish on those smaller A-rigs.
John Long said, do you guys use a TH Marine oxygenator? I 100% do.
Yes.
And I know Brian has one in his live well as well.
Don't get rid of the aerator, though. It works in conjunction with, your aerator pump.
Yeah, that's not something you replace your aerators with.
No. The oxygenator is it's pretty much putting pure oxygen, dissolved in the water.
And I do. I turn mine on from the second I fill them up in the morning.
Yes, I do too. The first time I hit the button to turn the aerators on, I hit my button and turn that oxygenator on, and that's all I do in the summer. I maybe put a
You
little
don't
bit
get
of
crazy
ice.
with icing and stuff.
I'll
like
put
that.
a little bit of ice in there, like maybe once a day, and then I run that oxygenator from daylight till weigh-in time. And
Now, do you change your water out once a day, or
if I put a lot of ice in there, I will change my water out, or if I've got it on recirc, I'll change it out maybe every 4 or 5 hours. But that's about it.
yeah? Bryant Clary's did say Mr. Wilson was watching you. Jeff said he looks hungry. You want to tell him why he's probably not
Brian
hungry?
Clary, Jeff on that new button.
Right.
I love that feature. I love that feature.
You'll tell him why
Oh,
Mr.
Shad
Wilson's
Bird.
probably
Thank
not
you,
starving.
Shad Bird. What's that?
Are you listening?
No, not to you. What you say, Brian?
I
You talking
said-
about Mr. Wilson eating?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I called Leslie. I was like, hey, you grabbed some fish for me the other day when she's coming home. She said, yeah, no problem. So she brings them back. And I don't know what she did. Sweet talked a little fella in the pet store. He gave me a couple extras. I didn't really pay attention. I got one in the tank. A couple extras. He usually eats 64 to clip. This is
60.
probably like 364. Dude,
So-
man had fish swimming for 4 days.
So everybody pray for Wilson because I think he's probably like every once in a blue moon, Jeff
Losing viewers, Jeff.
does
Quickly.
something.
Yeah, it's
But-
me. 'Cause I do own the internet company. Just to reiterate,
Is the audio still good? Let us know if the audio is still good.
Can you hear
I
us?
see that it kicked back in.
Can anybody hear us?
Frozen 2. It's not
we're back
Hey, it
online.
looks like it's working
Frozen
again.
2. Frozen 2.
What'd you do, Jeff?
I don't know. We went down to 80 viewers and we jumped back up to almost 200.
All right, we're
Something's
back.
all jacked up, dude. Like
It's
it,
back.
it,
It's
it
back.
literally,
It's back. I got a green light.
it literally dropped to 80 viewers and then it went back to 166.
It does that sometimes when I'm actually here during the day. I'll just
So
lose
that's the
internet.
craziest thing I've ever
Really?
seen in my life.
Spectrum.
Um,
Go Spectrum.
It's Spectrum. We're gonna blame it on Spectrum. I don't have Spectrum. You have Spectrum?
No,
Yeah.
It's the only option for me.
it's not even an option for me, so you're lucky.
Yeah. Well, no, it's an option for you and I.
Yeah, it's an option, but
About
it's
a
very
12
expensive.
about a $12,000 option.
Very expensive option.
All right. Auctionator really helps with the northern smallmouth. Yeah, I agree, Reed. And like I said, I'm like Brian. I keep it pretty simple, and I've run one all year, and I have
Yeah.
not.
I think the biggest tip I could offer you as far as summertime fishing when the water's hot, and what I see kill fish more than anything is people taking long, rough boat rides. That'll kill fish quicker than anything, bouncing around when the water's hot, beating up against the sides of the live wells and stuff. You know, if you've got a good bag of fish, and just slow down, take it easy over the boat wakes and stuff. That'll save a lot of fish right there.
Jeff's going crazy with this new thing that he's figured
I love
out.
it.
What's
hey,
he
you'll
got?
like this. What's this?
See the comments that pop up there?
Yeah, what's that mean?
It's
I found it last week.
he
It's awesome.
Congratulations.
he highlights whatever comments he likes, and it pops it up on the big screen. there.
Oh, congratulations.
So Bryant said it went off. It was
See there,
it was
like
lagging.
that comment.
Spectrum is awful.
Matt, you are my
Agreed,
hero.
Alan.
We won't keep that up there long.
Who said Matt's my hero?
Blake Stout.
Oh, of course but yeah, Blake's my boy, man. Blake's my boy. All right, Mr. Wilson feels like I will Thursday
Exactly,
afternoon.
buddy. Black Jeff
What
has
you-
to flex sometimes.
Ernie, you gonna go
It
eat?
shows balls.
Ernie, you gonna go eat 250 goldfish or something? I'm missing. I'm missing what you're getting at there. Buddy Black's watching. He's out there keeping us safe. Buddy's a police officer in Kings Mountain, so he said Jeff just has to flex sometimes.
I've noticed a
That
trend
was-
in these comments
that's
Jeff's highlighting.
You like that?
Is they all are pertain to Jeff.
Somebody say something good about Brian so I can post it.
Yeah. So all you got to do is get your comment highlighted is
Go
put Jeff in
Patriots.
it.
Thank you,
If you
Warren.
just write Jeff,
Patriots.
it'll get
It's going to be a
Lord have
long
mercy.
season.
Um,
The Ravens and the 49ers, I think, are not going to be good.
do you
The
ever use that
Patriots.
Demiki thing? Brian King said Demiki thing with a bunch of legs on the back of it. Never figured what that's good for. What's he talking about? The Demiki thing
I
with a
can't-
bunch of legs on the back of it.
I'm trying to think. I really
I'm
don't
lost,
know.
too. I mean, I don't know Demiki baits like you do, but I feel like I would have seen.
I'm
that
trying to think of one with a lot of legs. You're going to have to be more specific.
one. Mike Nolan said, "If Jeff keeps crashing our feed, BPT's going to hire him away from y'all."
I saw that, but I chose not to post it.
Well, you didn't pop. I mean, it's there, whether you pop it up there or not. All right.
Oh,
we got
Lord.
time for one or two more questions, and then we're going to go into our trivia question. We're going to give away a Bassmaster membership tonight. You can't Google the answer to our trivia question, so
No,
that's
it's
good.
pure guessing.
Every
Pure
time
guessing.
you even talk about trivia, it scares me.
You think I'm gonna give it away?
Yeah,
Don't
he
you?
will. He's
I'm
talking
doing
about
better
it now.
I've been working on.
He'll
that.
probably give it away.
Step number 1 is admitting you have a problem. Step number 2 is addressing it and trying to figure out a solution.
There's one piece of jerky left.
Get after it.
I'm
Get
eating
after it.
I'm
Eat
eating
it.
it.
Oh, the Hydra.
Eat it.
The Hydra.
The high. Okay,
Thanks,
the high.
Brian New.
Yes.
News lurking. News lurking. I didn't even know
I mean,
he was on the
it's
show.
not
There he
really
is.
legs though. It's more tentacles. So that's what that was my thought was the Hydra. But
Legs,
yes, I do
tentacles.
use the Hydra quite often. I use it in place of a tube a lot. So that's what I use it for mostly.
All right, there you go. What'd you say you use it for mostly?
In place of a tube.
Okay. I've used that little joker bed fishing sometimes.
It's good.
It's a dang good bed fishing bait. Let's see. All right, one more question, and then we are jumping into our trivia question for the night. Let's see. You pick it out, Thrift. We've got a
I'm
couple.
picking out the last question.
Yep, we've got a couple different ones you can choose from.
All right.
Kenny Patterson, I'm
picking a
not giving
question.
away an answer tonight. Don't worry, we're almost there. I've almost made it. I still haven't given it away. Oh, somebody did ask about Scott Martin's decision to fish the Opens earlier. If you hadn't watched his video, they were asking why he did that or what do you think about that. I mean, I'm with Scott, dude. You got to follow your heart. You got to follow your dream. You got to follow what's best for your situation. Scott laid it out there in his video why he did it.
Makes sense.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a good video. It's on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I'm sure most of our viewers probably follow him and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And it's a good video, man. You need to take a few minutes to go watch that video. Canterbury, what's up, my man? I didn't even see Canterbury was on. I saw somebody comment that earlier, but yeah, he's hooked up. He's hooked up with a new sponsor. He's just signed with Gill for the new season. What's the Iron Bowl? Canterbury said Roll Tide and the Iron Bowl. He's always got a finish.
Auburn, Alabama.
Oh, is that who? Auburn's pretty stout this year, so they might give him a little. I mean,
What y'all
Auburn's
talking
good.
about?
I don't know about
College
the-
football.
I don't know
You're-
about
it's
that.
out
I don't know
Quarterback
anything about
now.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It might be a good game.
Well, I'm sure they're. I flipped on football for like 10 minutes Saturday, and I saw Alabama was playing Western Carolina. How does that happen? It was
It's
like
about $1 million they paid Western Carolina. Canterbury, what's your prediction for the game? What are
yeah,
you thinking?
yeah, Hammerberry. What's your prediction for the Auburn Alabama game? Oh, and how's the quarterback? By the way, I saw he was injured. I think he's out for the season. if
He's
I'm not
done. They
mistaken.
got the backup.
Okay.
But, I mean, he looks pretty good, but he's throwing to all 5 stars. So we'll see when he gets some competition.
Y'all still talking about football?
PW is lurking too. Patrick Walters is on here also, who just got hitched recently, I believe. So congrats, Patrick.
I seen
by the
that.
way,
Congratulations.
Yeah, he said back to work for the week. I don't know if that means fishing or
It's got to be fish.
if he's back. He might be back from his honeymoon. Maybe that's what Patrick. We got to get Patrick up on the show. He's only about 4 hours away. We'll get him up here pretty soon. That's an invitation, Patrick. By the way,
Canterbury says 37-20 Bama. So we'll see.
who's Alvin Thrift?
Where? I don't see it, Alvin.
Alvin Thrift.
I guess that's who it is, Alvin Thrift.
Oh, you're not no relation there.
I don't know.
I mean, we have Shadbirds, we have Alvin Thrifts, we have
Yeah.
Matt Duckett. Did you see that name earlier?
No,
don't know
I
if
did
that's his actual name, but we have a Matt Duckett on the show. He says, all right, last question, guys. Last question.
Yingling or Natty Light?
Neither.
15 years ago, Natty Light all day. Now, Yingling.
15 years ago. Don't short yourself, Jeff. It was like 30 years ago.
What? What are you talking about?
You're like 50.
Hey, don't laugh.
He's got jokes.
Wiley actually told me on the way to school, so I'm driving him to school today. And just out of the blue, he tells me I look like I'm in my mid-50s.
Wiley told you that?
Yes.
50s?
Yes.
No.
That's what he told me.
You don't look a day over 45.
Exactly.
Anthony Randall, I said Auburn's good because I'm an NC State fan, okay? Give me a break. Auburn's really good compared to the Wolfpack. And I'm a Wolfpack fan. I'm just speaking the truth. All right.
Last question, real question.
Last question.
Last question, real question.
Alvin Thrift.
Coors Light.
We're going to choose Alvin Thrift's question.
Well, I still haven't seen this question.
I'm going to read it to you.
All right.
You're going to answer it. I'll read it. You answer.
All right.
I understand that fish like rock due to they hold heat, but how does the sun affect them? I've always heard fish stay in the shade.
Man,
Kind of a tricky little question.
that's a
isn't it?
tricky question.
Because I do feel like a fish sits under a rock or beside a rock
Yeah.
or on the or dark side of a rock.
I don't think it's got as much to do with heat, like sun heating rocks up, because in the winter you catch fish on a lot of rock that's 8 or 10 feet deep, and there's no way the sun's penetrating that deep to heat those rocks up. I think it's more of a crawfish type deal or something like that. They just like that hard cover in the winter. I don't think it's got to do with the sun heating it up, because some of the best days I've had cranking rock in the winter is a cloudy, windy day where there's absolutely no sun shining hardly to heat a rock up. So I think it is a shade thing, because I remember back when I first started fishing that I would go to Norman and like at daylight, and that was always your best bite in the wintertime with a jerkbait was at daylight before the sun got real bright and real high if it was going to be a sunny day. So I'm going with the sun doesn't matter that much on a rock.
Yes, Scott, I said under a rock, meaning not literally under it, but if a rock is angled out and you can be under one side of the rock, or let's take it a little further, there could be a depression under that rock on one side. So yes, I did say under a rock. They were making fun of me because I said under a rock. Fish can get under rocks. I can guarantee you that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Trivia question time.
Question time.
I have not given away the answer. I
Not
think
yet.
I'm doing pretty good.
Shocker.
Shocker.
It is a minor miracle. It's a small victory for the LTF show.
Good try, Doug. He said, "Hey, Matt, what's the answer to the trivia question?"
Who's
All right.
calling the answer, Jeff?
Jeff
Does
knows the
know
answer. Jeff's calling the answer.
All right.
What is... All right, so let me just give you a little backdrop here. So, if any of y'all watch the show regularly, you know my buddies and I, there's about 15 of us.
They wouldn't
Hardcore...
let me enter this year.
They wouldn't let me.
Jeff's bow hunted
Explain.
exactly 0 times.
I haven't hunted in 2 years.
Just a quick reference. We don't have anything against crossbow hunters. We don't have anything against rifle hunters. We just have a group. We like to do a little buck tournament and a doe tournament, and all these guys are hardcore bow hunters, and we just have a little set of rules in place for this club, for this tournament, that says the deer has to be killed in North Carolina, and it has to be by a compound bow, recurve, or longbow. All right, that's our only rules. So we pay a big buck pot, and we pay a big doe pot.
What if I shoot iron sights on my crossbow next year?
Doesn't count. You're out. So
Prejudice.
I need to. So you screaming discrimination now,
Yeah,
huh?
you discriminating against us crossbow hunters.
I hear you. Well, make you a crossbow hunt. Make you a crossbow pot.
I am. I'm just the only one in it.
It's true
I win it
story.
every year.
There's a lot of crossbow hunters
We already
around
got
here.
answers rolling in. You just asked a question yet.
Yeah, somebody's on the right track. All right, so back to the rules. Just to give y'all a hint, it's got to be killed in North Carolina, because we have a lot of our guys in our tournament and our pots that go hunt out of state, and we don't let those deer obviously compete against North Carolina kills. So here we go. What is currently leading the doe pot? And it's strictly by weight for the does. What is currently leading? What weight is currently leading the doe pot?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
What
Chris
is-
White said I could hold my crossbow sideways where it's vertical.
With no scope and iron sights? We might let you enter if you do that.
All right.
No scope, iron sights, and you got to hold it vertically.
I got to hold it like this.
Yeah.
Not.
One-handed.
Nah, you still got to have two hands. Well, no, I may have to shoot one-handed so the string don't hit me.
Yeah, you better be careful shooting a crossbow sideways in the first place. I could see him shoot. It's got to be on video now, because otherwise we're not going to have any proof. That might go viral, dude, if you shoot one like that sideways with a crossbow with iron sights.
One-handed like that.
I'm not a betting man, but if I had to bet, you'd probably hit
I'd
him in the
do it.
butt.
I'd kill him eventually.
True story. True story. Jeff, we don't have an answer yet.
I got an answer, but they're rolling in so fast. I got to make sure it's the right one.
That's the answer right there.
Yeah, I got that.
Guys are saying like 200 and something pounds. Guys, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, we're in North Carolina. We don't have 200-pound does here.
I got
Just
an
know
answer.
that if they would let me in this pot, I would be winning. So just know that.
I will
We
give you that hint.
We have a winner.
Yeah. We have a winner.
Jeff is determined to win.
It's the first one, the best I can.
Is it our buddy? Is it our buddy? It's our buddy.
Is it somebody
It's
that
the only
already,
one. It's the
is it
only
somebody
one I've
that knew
seen.
the answer?
I don't know, but he's.
I can't.
No,
I
he,
mean,
no, he didn't know.
Okay.
He didn't
They're
know.
coming in so fast, I can't even get back to them.
I see the answer. It's our buddy Ernie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he knew the answer.
No.
Okay.
He's answered 124, 123, 122, 131.
All right, so he's
So
going for quantity.
the
over
answer
quality.
is 133 pounds. And Ernie Wallace was the first one to get it on our feed, guys. So if
Yeah,
another
he was the first one
133,
on my feed, yeah.
Ernie's still going 119, 134. he's covered the right range. Now Ernie's a Carolina boy,
So
so
he
he
kinda
knows
knows the
he
size.
knows the range of the does that we have in this area. And a big doe in this area is 120 pounds. A 133 is a really big doe for this area. If you get over 130 pounds, that's a giant. And your average doe around here is about 90 to 100 pounds. So 133 is leading. Ernie,
Unless you shoot them in the butt 3 times with buckshot and then they're 140 pounds.
if it's a buck.
If it's a doe, because you got 10
I'm trying
pounds
to
of
get the
buckshot.
comments so I can post it, but it's so many answers coming in. I can't.
All right, so Ernie, we got your contact info, but and I think Ernie's already a Bass member.
I'm sure.
But Ernie, let me know who you want us to sign up. If you got a family member or a buddy needs a good Christmas present, send me his information or her information, and we'll get them signed up for their free BASS membership. Guys, thanks for watching.
And
hey, look, Derek.
next
Hold
week,
on.
no
hold on.
deer hunting. No deer hunting next
In
week.
my defense, Derek, he said leave it to Matt to have a hunting trivia question on Let's Talk Fish. So, a couple reasons why I picked a hunting question tonight is because we had a hunting story. It's November. It's deer
It was
season.
a good hunt. Like, if you're going to have a hunting story on Let's Talk Fish, I feel like it needs to be kind of the story we told.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I agree.
that's a rare hunting story.
I agree
Very few
100%.
people have heard a story like what was told tonight.
I agree. So yeah, we'll be back to Let's Talking Fish and just fish next week, unless one of us screws around and does something crazy in the woods between now and then. We might have to tell a
I'm
story
not
again.
going to.
But you got another buck tag left
I do.
and a
I
couple
do.
doe tags, so you
But
never
the
know.
story will not top the last story.
You never say never.
It'd
Never
be
say
impressive
never.
if it
It
did.
would be impressive. So you're gonna aim for like actual vital organs next time.
Well, I would have this time if I could have seen them.
That's a good point.
I mean,
That's a good point. That's probably the cleanest looking deer that's ever been killed until you got
Yeah.
to his back half of it.
yeah, it's bad.
Probably the cleanest looking deer the processor's
It's
ever
bad.
seen. Oh, by the way, we should probably tell. So if anybody saw the picture that we posted earlier on our Facebook page or our Instagram page about the show tonight, it was a trail cam picture of Brian's deer after he'd shot it with a crossbow, and it had just shone back up in the daylight. And I saw somebody make this comment earlier about no man's land. I don't know if you saw that. You might have missed it.
I've heard of it.
You and I were talking about that, and for all you bow hunters out there, and this is the last thing we'll talk about as far as deer hunting tonight, the no man's land,
It's a myth.
well, it is an innate. The no man's land is not where I thought it was. And I learned a lot about the anatomy, but tell them what you found out when you went to the processor and y'all
Well,
opened that deer
it
up.
makes sense. I mean, anybody that knows anything about anything animal wise. So what I've been told is
You telling me I
this-
don't know anything about animals?
Yeah, kind of. I'm telling you that. Yes. So the no man land deal, whatever, with a bow, crossbow, whatnot. Everybody says you hit them below the spine and above the lungs. So if there's like a section between the lungs and the spine, where if you hit, you're not going to kill them. That's a lie, because your ribs run all the way to the spine. They connect to the spine. That's basic anatomy. Lungs fill this whole cavity. So
All
if-
the way to the bottom of the spine.
all the
There's
way
lung.
to the bottom of the spine. So if you hit underneath the spine, provided you're right over his shoulder, right behind his shoulder, you're going to hit lungs and you're going to have a clean kill. But if you hit above the spine, there's actually about 3 to 5 inches of flesh. What?
Or in the butt.
Or in the butt. A lot of flesh in the butt. So, yeah, just don't shoot them above the spine.
So Brian's entry and exit, although it did not look, I saw that entry and I said, I don't know how you didn't hit spine.
I'm telling you, I was there when we skinned it out,
Straight through his back strap.
straight through his back strap.
And where the exit was it missed his spine by, what'd you say, a half
About a
inch?
half inch.
About a half inch.
Yeah, about a half inch.
So it was he was all but dropping that night. All right, Guys, thanks for tuning in. I know we talked a lot of deer hunting tonight, but we had a
All fishing next week.
all fishing next week. Everybody have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people be traveling to see family and whatnot, so y'all be safe traveling. If you kill a big deer or catch a big bass, post it to our Facebook page or send it to us and let us post it to our Instagram page. Happy Turkey Day once again.
Yeah,
You
I'm
got
eating
anything to
ham.
add?
I'm eating ham.
We're going to have ham and turkey.
Yeah, we do too, but I always eat
Anthony
the ham.
Randall says, well, bye.
Well, bye.
Well, bye. All right, guys, we'll see you next Tuesday, a week from today. We will definitely have another show. We'll be talking.
We'll try to come up with some more giveaways next week.
Yeah, we'll
have a few treats.
We'll have something more than just the Bassmaster membership. We might have a hoodie. We might have a hat. We might have.
We'll do a giveaway every show of the month of December to separate.
Hey, that's a good
celebrate
idea.
the holidays.
That's a good idea.
What?
We'll do a giveaway like
We
an
do that
actual
every
item.
show. Oh, you
Yeah,
mean-
like
like
some
hats,
above
shirts.
and beyond.
got you. I got you. I
Every
got you.
show in December.
Well, it's like kind of like the people
Hey,
do that
and
on
I'll
social
tell you
media.
It's like
what.
Helen's 12 days or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Except she
It's
gives
gonna be
away
the
And
cards.
it's got to be something
Yeah.
special, though, because, my new signature series crankbait that me keep making is not going to be available till January the 1st.
We can still
It's
give it away,
possible
though,
I may get one to give away before anybody else can ever even get it.
right? Ooh.
You know
So-
somebody.
I know somebody.
All right.
I got a guy.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We can't go fishing. We'll sit right here and do what, Thrift?
Talk fishing.
Talk. He got it right, Jeff. Did you hear
We're going
that?
to talk fishing.
All right. See y'all after Thanksgiving.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Fish. Visit our private Facebook group to continue the conversation, post your questions, and talk with other fellow anglers at facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Fish. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Fish Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Join us again next episode for more actionable tips, tactics, and techniques directly from the pros. And remember, when we can't go fishing, we're going to sit right here and talk fish.